I spent 7 months working an insurance desk job, and I absolutely hated it. But there are 4 things I learned that didn't just make me more productive, but also more social and just happier. Now I get to share those with you. Whether you are trying to climb the corporate ladder or you're a free-spirited creative, I promise you, these tips will work for you. The last tip is the most important one. But first, a little bit of a story time about my 9-to-5 experience. Not so long ago, I was a wide-eyed student journalist in university getting ready to conquer the real world. Little did I know, journalism, apparently, as I knew it, is a dying industry. At least that's what they say. Long story short, I realized I had to open my job search up to anything that would get me enough money to let me continue living my Southern California lifestyle and not have to return home. In swooped my buddy Liam, who was working at an insurance job and referred me to the position. Shout out you. I ended up getting the job, and what followed were 7 months of me realizing my silly little creative brain was not fit for a 9-to-5 job where all I'm doing is drafting letters and sending them out. I know, who would have thought? As my time came to a close though, I started pondering upon my life as a cog in the corporate machine, and I realized there were some lessons there that I learned. Lessons that are valuable to me to this day, where I'm not in a position like that. Things that have honestly helped me in multiple different areas of my life. And so, the wait is over, and time to get to our first learning. Workflows work. Look man, I get it. The term workflow sounds like the most Microsoft team word of all time. But those people were kind of onto something, especially when it came to its impact on your productivity. Workflows are basically habit-making machines, specifically habit stacking, which is coined by the Atomic Habits author James Clear. Habit stacking, the practice of identifying a current habit and adding another behavior after it, increases the likelihood that you'll stick with a habit by stacking your new behavior on top of an old one. This process can be repeated to chain numerous habits together, each one acting as the cue for the next. When I had workflows for every single task I had to complete, I started being able to do them without thinking. Every step gave me a cue to move to the next one without friction. Things that originally took me 3 hours in the beginning of my time there ended up taking me less than 40 minutes by the end. Did it turn me gray and emotionless as well? Yes, but it's only because it's insurance, not because the workflows were boring. Since leaving, I've created my own workflow for making YouTube videos, and for the first time in over a decade of creating content, I've been consistently making high quality content. So, finding ways to put workflows into different parts of your life could make your life more consistent. Only thing is you gotta make it yourself. So try making one for something like the gym, a passion project of yours, or maybe studying. Follow it as if you're being paid to do it, and watch the results follow. And do the same thing with our second lesson. Hard communication is key. I hated finding out this one was true. You always hear about the importance of communication and teamwork when you're in school, but no one tells you that in the corporate world, 90% of conversations you have are ones you don't want to have. Up until this point in your life, you probably didn't need to have that many conversations with people you didn't like, since you just didn't need to. But the truth is, having uncomfy conversations is a skill you need to learn if you want to succeed to the highest level. I had to learn the skill by having hard conversations with my manager when I was struggling with something, or having to set a boundary when a coworker was trying to put all their work up onto me. Honestly, I had to do it just sitting in the lunchroom having to talk to people instead of watching Instagram reels at low volume. Bottom line is, communication is the #1 key to getting better at anything you have to do. You want to be a better photographer, you got to learn how to communicate what your subject needs to be doing. Specifically using communication to solve problems. Those are things you usually don't have to do in most parts of your life. Learning how to navigate and initiate these conversations is unfortunately crucial. Like, the difference between succeeding and failing crucial. Now, this third lesson is more of a perspective shift. Free time is priceless. Nobody can prepare you for how little time you have after work on a 9-to-5 job. The shift from having free time to spare in school to having a measly 4 hours a day where you're not working or driving to work, it never gets easier. But it did teach me the value that time has. You have to commute both ways. You have to eat. You'd like to exercise if you have the time, and then you gotta shower after because you're all stinky now. And then, after all that, you might get a little bit of free time where all you wanna do is relax. After leaving and having a much more flexible schedule, I understand the value of my time, and I have to maximize it every single day. As the legendary punk rock band Passenger says,
only know you love her when you let her go.
When free time is that scarce, you learn very quickly how to make the most of that time. Essentially, it pressure cooks you into learning time management and optimization. Now, I just need to take this moment to let you know, I'm warning you, I'm not trying to scare you, but if you don't subscribe to this channel right now, the LinkedIn monster will get you at night.
What? We're flying to Philadelphia! Oh, hell no!
That's
Oh, hell no!
You don't want that. I also want to remind you that sometimes the 9-to-5 life isn't for everyone. These are all things I learned to make my insurance life better, but by no means is this supposed to be restricted to just corporate life. Just because you're in a creative field doesn't mean you need to throw structure and professional skills to the wayside. Now on to the last tip though, the one that has truly changed my life. Everything is easier when the goal is to learn. Let me paint you a little picture of me before this revelation versus after. Before I learned the concept of doing everything with knowledge as the goal, I treated everything I attempted as the most important thing in the world. Sounds good, but the truth is I tried to make everything perfect, and if it wasn't perfect, it was a failure. And that just kind of led me to sometimes not doing it at all. Sometimes my little monkey brain would be sitting in bed thinking about the best way to go about my gym journey, but during that time, not a single weight was lifted. Then came my tricky little 9-to-5. As you can imagine, I had little knowledge or interest in the job. Sorry to my previous coworkers, if you're watching this, I love y'all. As a natural result of this, there were a few times where I really struggled during my time there. There was an opening for a promotion I could get that would offer some serious money, and since that was the complete reason I was there, I took an interest. I was told that the best way to position myself for this job was to simply have an interest in insurance and want to learn more and show that to people. So I started doing just that. Granted, for the wrong reason, but I still got myself in the mindset of, okay, let's just learn about this and want to learn more. I started asking questions, learning why I was doing what I was doing and how I could do it better, and it kind of made it enjoyable. The last thing I ever thought I'd be interested in became kind of interesting. Since then, I've applied that mindset to everything else in my life. I now cook basically every meal for myself, making little adjustments and learning every single time. I lift 5+ times a week now, learning about what makes things better and what doesn't as I do them. And I make these videos consistently, learning at least one new thing every time. And you can see that if you look at my previous videos, every time there's a little something I do different. Because of this, my life has drastically changed for the better. And yours can too if you approach it this way. Approaching things with the goal of knowledge not only strips you of that pressure to succeed because you kind of have to fuck up to learn the best, but curiosity is kind of a natural cheat code to be interested in anything you put your mind to. Try hammering this mindset in to everything you do and watch your life grow. Well, that's about everything I have for you today. I'm really happy that you came to the end of this video, and I'm really happy I get to share these tips with you because it's something that I've been thinking about since I've been gone from my job for a few months now. Stay tuned for more videos and click on the video on your screen right now if you want to get some more of me. And, you know, I love you. I don't love you. I really don't love you, but I care about you and I want the best for you. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.